Masturbation is one of the most common behaviors. Almost everyone does it. But just because something is common doesn't mean it's harmless. Behind the scenes, frequent masturbation can silently affect your body, mind, and future. In this video, we're exposing the shocking truth about masturbation, truths that most people ignore or never get told. This isn't about shame, this is about awareness. And if you're ready to take control, this is your wake-up call. 1. It rewires your brain for quick pleasure. Masturbation, especially when coupled with pornography, creates an unnatural level of stimulation for the brain. It triggers a massive release of dopamine, the chemical responsible for pleasure and reward. This is the same chemical activated when someone wins a game, eats their favorite food, or even takes certain drugs. But unlike those activities, masturbation, particularly porn-based, can be accessed anytime, anywhere with no effort. That's where the problem starts. Your brain is wired to seek reward for meaningful effort. Study hard, get good grades. Train hard, gain strength. Build relationships, feel connection. But when you introduce a shortcut like masturbation, you get all the dopamine without any effort, risk, or emotional involvement. This builds a dangerous feedback loop. The brain gets used to easy pleasure. Over time, this rewires the brain to crave instant rewards and reject anything that feels slow, hard, or boring. What does this look like in real life? Tasks like reading, working out, learning, or even socializing begin to feel dull. Your brain, now conditioned to chase high-speed dopamine from masturbation, finds everyday tasks underwhelming. That's why so many men report lack of focus, reduced discipline, and zero drive to do the hard things. It's not laziness, it's neurological conditioning. Even worse, this rewiring doesn't stop at motivation. It affects attention span. Just like social media shortens your ability to focus, masturbation trains you to seek constant novelty. If you watch porn, your brain gets trained to expect multiple tabs, different faces, new positions, every few seconds. Real life doesn't operate that way. One person, one situation, one conversation, and when your brain has been wired for chaos, real life starts to feel slow and uncomfortable. The only way to reverse this is by detoxing. Just like a drug addict needs time away to reset their receptors, you need time off from overstimulation. By stopping or reducing masturbation, you give your brain time to heal. Neural pathways begin to normalize. You start to enjoy real conversations again. Working toward goals becomes satisfying again. The world regains its color. Remember, your brain is plastic. It rewires based on repetition. If you constantly repeat quick fix behaviors, your mind will be ruled by urges. But if you repeat delayed gratification, hard work, and presence, you rewire for strength. And strength always wins in the long game. 2. It weakens dopamine sensitivity. Dopamine is the chemical of motivation. It gives you the energy to chase your goals, build habits, and find joy in life's challenges. But what happens when your brain is constantly flooded with dopamine from masturbation? It gets numb. It begins to feel less. This condition is called dopamine desensitization. Just like a drug addict needs more and more of the substance to get high, you start needing more stimulation, more porn, more intensity, more frequency, to feel the same satisfaction. And the side effects? Devastating. Suddenly music feels flat, conversations feel boring, nature loses its color, you stop enjoying the things that once made you feel alive, and worst of all, your motivation plummets. Why chase goals when your brain has been tricked into thinking you've already won through artificial release? This is why so many men today report a lack of ambition. They have dreams but no drive, ideas but no action. Their dopamine system is fried. They live in a constant state of low-grade burnout without realizing why. The scary part? It's not just about pleasure, it's about identity. You stop believing in yourself because your energy is gone. Your sense of purpose fades. You become a spectator of your own life. But here's the hope: your brain can heal. Within 10-20 days of NoFap, dopamine receptors start to recover. You feel the sun on your skin again. Food tastes better. Talking to people becomes engaging. Most importantly, you start enjoying hard work again. This is your natural state. This is who you were before your brain got hijacked. Reclaiming dopamine sensitivity is about getting your fire back, your passion, your purpose, your power. 3. It kills motivation and mental discipline. Self-discipline is the foundation of every great life. It's the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. But masturbation, especially compulsive masturbation, chips away at that bridge every time you give in. Here's why motivation is driven by desire and delayed gratification. When you choose to work out, to study, or to pursue a business idea, you're delaying the pleasure. You're investing in your future. But when you masturbate, you're training your brain to expect reward now, with no effort. This undermines your internal reward system. Why would your brain chase purpose when it can get pleasure without effort? That's the trap. You start postponing your dreams. You delay your habits. You scroll more, think less, act even less. It gets worse with time. Masturbation becomes your escape. Feeling stressed, fap. Feeling lonely, fap. Feeling stuck, fap. You numb your emotional and mental discomfort instead of using it as fuel for change. Eventually, this kills your motivation to grow. You stop challenging yourself. You stop taking risks. You live a soft life with no fire inside. But that's not who you are. The moment you say no to the urge, you're saying yes to strength. Each time you resist, your disciplined muscle grows. Within 2 weeks of NoFap, most men report higher focus, better consistency, and a deeper sense of clarity. Why? Because they're not escaping anymore. They're confronting. Mental toughness isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. And it starts by mastering the one habit that's silently breaking your backbone. 4. It lowers confidence and increases shame. Confidence comes from alignment, when your actions match your values. But when you're stuck in a cycle of compulsive masturbation, especially with porn, you know deep down something isn't right. That disconnection breeds shame. You finish, and you feel heavy. You avoid your reflection. You close your laptop fast. You feel like a different version of yourself, and not in a good way. Over time, this pattern becomes your new identity. You feel like a fraud in public. You walk with your head low. You speak with hesitation. You question your worth. Even your body language reflects that internal guilt. This is why many guys on NoFap report stronger eye contact, deeper voice tone, and better posture within days of quitting. It's not magic, it's self-respect returning. When you stop hiding, your confidence begins to shine through. Porn especially is destructive to confidence because it trains you to consume, not connect. You stop feeling attractive. You start comparing. You view others through a lens of lust or insecurity. True confidence isn't loud. It's clean. It's the feeling of knowing you have control over yourself. It's knowing that you can delay pleasure, stand strong in discomfort, and walk with integrity. Want to build real confidence? Start by living in alignment. Cut the habit that makes you feel small, and start stacking days that make you feel proud. 5. It damages real-life relationships. Humans are social beings. We crave connection, affection, and intimacy. But masturbation, especially when paired with porn, can slowly destroy your ability to form meaningful bonds. Why? Because it creates a false sense of fulfillment. Your brain starts thinking, I already got pleasure. Why try harder? And so you stop texting her. You stop flirting. You stop being curious about people. The screen becomes your comfort zone, and the real world becomes awkward. This rewiring is dangerous. You develop unrealistic expectations. You lose patience. You become emotionally numb. And eventually, even real sex doesn't excite you. More than that, you lose emotional resilience. In relationships, you have to compromise, communicate, and grow. But if you've conditioned yourself to avoid all discomfort, you won't have the tools to sustain love. Men on NoFap often report renewed interest in dating, deeper emotional connections, and stronger attraction. Why? Because they're no longer sedated by pixels. They want reality again. Your relationships reflect your inner world. If you're numb inside, your connection will be weak. But if you reclaim your energy, you'll start radiating presence, and people feel that. If you want better relationships, don't just look outward, look inward. Stop draining your connection through screens, and start showing up for real life. Masturbation may seem harmless, but when it turns into a habit, it hijacks your focus, drains your energy, and weakens real-life connection. But here's the truth, you can take back control. It starts with one decision, one clean day, and the discipline to keep going. Subscribe to NoFap Nation for raw motivation and tools to rebuild your power. mind, body, and soul.